cards, these new credit cards, that basically, when you hold a card, you hold it like this typically, right? With the card in here, kind of like this, right? You hold, do I have an old card? Y'all can't see the numbers on here. At least I hope not. Let's see. When you hold the card like this, right? No numbers. When you hold the card like this, right? So, Samsung has developed a credit card that has the traditional metal chip on this, where you stick it in the card reader where it asks for your chip. So it's going to have a chip on this side. It's also going to have a similar. Now, I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play the video right here and some other stuff. It'll have a. Not only will it have a chip on the top, it'll also have a similar chip on the bottom where you're going to have your finger and hold it. Now, this chip, Samsung beat Visa and Mastercard, the two major credit card manufacturers and companies in the United States or in the world. Samsung basically beat them to the punch, because what Samsung did, Visa and Mastercard have a similar design, except Visa and Mastercard made one where it has like a few different spots on there, and it hasn't really been perfected. Samsung, where they step in, they not only have those few spots, they integrated the security chip, the fingerprint sensor, the basically a small CPU and an algorithm integrated all into one micro chip. Hang on, sorry about that. So the cool thing is that Samsung basically beat them to the punch. Now, that does not mean that every card moving forward is going to be a Samsung card with a Visa logo or a Mastercard logo. What's basically going to happen is Samsung will basically sell the technology, or they may sell the cards and just slap a Visa logo or Mastercard logo on there and it won't say Samsung. Whichever way they do it, Visa and Mastercard is more likely to purchase the technology or lease the technology or lease the patent from Samsung to use this same technology in their cards that they manufacture, or bank cards basically. The very first thing, and this is really cool, the very first thing that when I saw this, I thought, man, that's awesome. But how are they gonna charge it? How is it gonna get power? Because there are integrated chips which need electricity, some sort of battery power, even though it may be very small, to operate. It can't operate on nothing, right? It has a small CPU, basically paper thin CPU. It's got like 3 or 4 or 5 chips basically slapped together and made into the thickness of a card, which is incredible. Now, and a fingerprint scanner, all into one, which is what Visa and Mastercard were having a hard time doing. So what they're going to do, which is really cool, is it's going to power, when, like I was saying at the beginning, when you hold on to your card, you're going to have your fingerprint on there already, right? And then this part goes into the card reader. What they're going to do is that card reader is going to charge it 2 ways, and it's only going to be charged when you use it. So when you're not using it, it won't work. Basically, only when you're using it to pay. It's going to charge. Now, it'll be connected. These 2 pads where you put your thumb, where you put your fingerprint and you put the chip reader, is going to have little wire connectors connecting them in between this card, this compressed card. That, when you stick it in the machine, in the card reader, it's going to power the integrated chip, the microprocessor, the algorithm chip, the fingerprint reader. It's going to power all that. All it needs to be powered just enough to read your fingerprint while it is trying to scan your chip and or charge the money. And not only will it charge it while it's inside the machine, it's going to charge it wirelessly. maybe about, I think it said, one of the articles I read, within a 12-inch radius of the machine. As soon as you get close to it, it'll power it up, kind of like the wireless charging on iPhone or Android devices. Now that only has like maybe a 1-inch radius. So this will be more integrated. This will be more technology, but it'll also, now the current machines can power it with the chip. Now the wireless technology that they're going to use to power your fingerprint reader as you get close to it, those have to be shipped out. So more than likely when these come out, everybody will eventually evolve into the wireless chip readers that'll charge your card and your fingerprint scanner when you pay. The current ones can already do it, so they can mass produce these cards, push them out to everybody within the probably next 10 to 12 months, depending on how Samsung negotiates the deal with Visa and Mastercard. And then over the next few years, they'll manufacture and push out the card readers that wirelessly charge the fingerprint scanner as you go to pay for your item or service. So just something very cool. Again, most of my channel is focused on mobile technology, but this technically qualifies as mobile technology. It's technology you're going to be carrying around in your wallet. And like I said, credit cards, debit cards aren't going away. Yes, there are more stuff you can pay with your phone now. I know Google, by the way, this is another news briefing. Google is finally, I know Apple's had this for a little while, but they have a more secure Face ID than Google does, and I think Google is going to require fingerprint. Google is releasing in only select markets and/or states that have approved it. You can apply your state identification card, state ID, driver's license in Google Wallet app now. Rolling out this upcoming June security patch for Android Pixel devices, feature drop. Now it's coming to Pixel only. Now that's one of the advantages of having a Pixel, is that you get all the new features first, and then it'll slowly roll out to the Samsungs, the Motorola's, what have you, OnePlus. But the credit card stuff is very cool. I was very pleasantly surprised to see that article. I'm going to include some videos and stuff for y'all to watch while I blabble on. But very cool. And I think this is just one step closer to the future. Like I said, probably in the next 5-10 years, we're going to have some really, really cool stuff coming out. I know there's some AI has been a big deal this past year, and that has transformed just in the last year, has snowballed into a bunch of cool stuff. And this is something that is kind of futuristic that we look forward to using in the future. And although I'm looking forward to getting rid of credit cards and wallets and driver's licenses, physical stuff, because if you lose your credit card, now getting back to security with this, it should make it way more secure. Now you can ask, well, because I did, well, okay, so that prevents somebody from physically stealing your card and buying something in a store, but how does it still prevent from all the online data theft and fraud and fraudulent online purchases? Well, I guess that can obviously still occur. This specific fingerprint sensor Samsung developed, just protects you, your physical card in person. But online stuff, I'm sure that will get more, as time goes on, that'll get more secure. Google just rolled out passkeys, which is actually just been using it. I've gotten some new devices in, a new Samsung Galaxy S8 Ultra tablet that actually was the first new device I've signed in with while Google rolled out passkeys, and it's really cool. I have a Titan security chip. Now that qualifies as a physical security item, because how passkeys works is not only when you sign into your device, it'll ask for your password, but it wants a physical security pass, meaning it'll on your device, in the past, it would just send you a notification to your phone, hey, you're trying to sign into this tablet. Notification would drop down on your phone, and you would just hit yes with your phone. Now you get the notification and you hit yes, but then it takes it one step further, which asks you for your lock screen passcode, your PIN code, or your pattern, or your Titan security chip, which I plug into the USB Type-C. So it's just one extra layer of security that helps people get away. My point was, if I lose my wallet, I guess yes, I can still get on the app and I can disable the card, or I can call Chase and tell them it's lost and they can disable it. But on my phone, if my phone gets lost with my credit card information, or somebody steals my phone and they try to use it, it's still going to ask them for my fingerprint or for a PIN code and all that stuff. So I'm sure over time that security will develop, but this is cool because there has not been much advancing in physical security or in-person security with physical items, such as a credit card. This typical style has been around for years and nothing has really developed. So this is the huge announcement, a huge next step in physical debit and credit card security. And I'm just happy that it's pretty cool that Samsung came up with the technology and beat Visa and Mastercard to the punch, because as you know, they're in the money business. Samsung is in the electronics business, so I was not at all surprised to see them come out with that tech. But like I said, they're probably going to lease the technology and or the patent to Visa and Mastercard, and then Visa and Mastercard won't own that technology per se, but it will allow them to use that technology on all their new cards. And what they'll do is they'll probably roll out, Samsung will lease it to them for 5 years at, I'm just throwing out a number, 5 years, $500 million. Now, Visa and MasterCard, that's an investment, but they'll probably say, hey, they'll give you two options. We'll give you one of these rinky-dink cards or regular cards, or if you want our top security card with a fingerprint scanner and you don't have to charge it, for $10 extra. And then, yeah, I'll probably take that. So they're betting on selling this secured card to potential clients and or potential customers to, they're betting on those ton of customers purchasing that item so they can make their money back. But that's where this is headed. So thank you for joining me, and subscribe to the channel. I got tons of cool tech and cool stories. I still got some reviews coming. I still got some cool apps I'm using that I'm reviewing, and we got a ride along tech review with me. So, all right, guys.